Welcome to the match review for United versus Leicester. Get your comments in, get your views in. I am covering for Phil today while he's away for the week. So I appreciate you all coming in to watch the stream. Get your comments in, get your views in. Like always, we'll get a few people on if we can in time. We have got Adam from the United stand coming on later in the stream. So please come and join us. I'll put the link in the chat as well for everyone if they want to join. We'll only have 15 minutes of that. But get your views in, get your comments in, and we'll get straight into the video. Let's go. So, yes, it is the match review for United 3, Leicester 0. What are your thoughts on yesterday's match? Please comment your views. Looking fresh, Phil. I know I'm the new younger Phil, as usual. Tomok, I didn't get to watch the match. I was working, only saw the score. Yeah, it's another one where you think it's tough to take, considering how well we played in the first half. The amount of tweets I was getting in the first half saying that we played brilliant. We just wasn't getting the goals, and that was the issue yesterday. That was the issue. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. 6 or 7 chances before they had their first pretty much shot on goal, and we didn't really do anything. Ben Morgan says fixed match review. No, I can see points in why people would think it's fixed, but it's always the case when you come against United at Old Trafford. You're always going to get the rub of the green against you. Jamie, welcome. It was like when you're a Ranger threesome and the other two don't turn up. That's how disappointed I was yesterday. I kind of get what you mean. Fair play though. Michael, appreciate you coming on. Hope you're doing okay. Shocking refereeing. I've got to agree with that. Perfectly agree with that. That is partly the reason we lost the game. It's not the total reason we lost the game. Obviously, you can't fault 3 goals to the referee. You just can't. What else are people saying? Bubba says had those chances in the first half, didn't take them once far, and United took over. There was no going back. Exactly. You can't be helped with partly VAR, partly ref not helping out. But again, you've just got to look at that first goal. It wasn't the ref's fault. It was down to either Suter or Castagna keeping him onside, and Rashford running on goal. I think he could have easier passed it over to is it Garnacho? Yeah, he could have easier passed it over to Garnacho, but he decided to shoot on his own. That's what confidence does for you. He will take it and he will score. Peter Quincy says ref and VAR were a disgrace. No red for the tackle on Faze. Booked Mendy for the fair tackle. And Rashford was offside. I probably agree with that. The referee was poor. I have my opinions on the red card. I will say that later when Adam comes in to join us to get his view on it as well, just to get a home side point of view. There's been a lot of Man U fans saying that there's been some dodgy situations as well with the ref yesterday. Howard Webb running VAR speaks volumes. Again, VAR, people in front of the VAR have not been great for the last few years now. Well, for the last few games now, let alone years. They've been awful. And each game just gets worse and worse for the VAR. Referee and VR screwed us over yesterday. If we had buried our chances and Sabitzer was sent off, it would be a different game. I disagree. I don't think the red card would have changed the game at all. Well, not much anyway. I think we were already 1-0 or 2-0 down by then. I don't think it would have changed the game. It just would have meant that there were 1-0 down, one player down. I don't think it would have changed anything. We were awful in that second half. So you really can't fault it. But again, like you say, if we did bury the goals, bury the chances, we didn't bury them. Barnes again for me was lackluster. He just didn't want to create much. You had Tete on the other wing. I thought he did well in times in the first half, creating the gaps, making or giving players against some skill, getting past them with ease, and then getting the ball into the box with when no one's there. And then Kel again. I thought he was all right, but again, there was many people around me saying that he just wasn't strong enough and he wasn't holding the ball up enough, and you just can't be helped with that. That is just not good enough from Nacho. And like Andy says here, Nacho is not a Premier League striker. Don't get me wrong, he's a good finisher, but just shows when you come against the big boys like Manu, he's struggling. He's really struggling. Neil, shocking referee, very poor substitutions in the second half. Well, you're only saying that because Sumari came on. I know you're saying that because Sumari came on. I don't mind Sumari coming on. At the point of the game, yes, you can't really say it's a good idea because you're losing 2 or 3-0 already. What's the point in bringing him on? Bringing Vardy on again, what's that going to change? He's just going to get rinsed by all the Man U fans, really. That's all you're going to get given from him. Bringing him on that stage of the game. If anything, I can't believe he really. I can remember. I know what you're on about now, Jamie. Yeah. Yeah, it's comical that you bring him to someone like Vardy and Sumari on when we were 3-0 down. You've got to be changing it up when at half time you're 1-0 down, change it up. That's what you have to do. You have to go for it. Don't keep the same at 1-0 down and think you're gonna do something, because it really killed us playing the same after we were 1-0 down, because they went for the Man U went all guns blazing for that. Tribe and Onion say the best league in the world with the worst referees. Totally agree. It's just getting worse and worse every week. Andy Mello says bad situation by Rodgers again, very negative. Was it? Again, it was just too late because we were 2 or 3-0 down. And by the time the first subs came on, what was the point? You might as well have kept it the same. There's no point you're not going to bring Vardy and Daka on in the 70th minute and hope for 3 goals. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. You might as well just ride with the game and just end the game 3-0. You don't want to concede anymore. If you go for guns blazing, you're just going to concede even more, and you don't want that to happen. Ashley Kerr, don't score when you're on top. That's what you get. Exactly that point. If that's not a red card, then completely VAR has gone corrupt. Completely agree, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. Ben, push on Mendy for the 3rd goal. Yes and no. I think the 3rd goal was more down to Kelechi losing the ball. I think from what I remember. Michael says very open back and forth match. 44 shots between the 2 teams. Yes, most of any match this season. You agreed, but again, why are we having like 15 shots and not scoring one? We had at least 3 or 4 shots on target in the first half and didn't put one of them in the back of the net. You can't fault De Gea for being incredible that yesterday, but again, that's what happened. He made some brilliant saves and it stopped us from scoring. Baz says my son supports Man U and he says that he only got himself to blame for not taking our chances. Again, can't disagree. I'm not trying to be negative, but we had all the chances in the first half, and people around me kept saying you've got to be putting your chances away. You've got to create your own luck, and we didn't put them in. We didn't put them in. Jordan, there was promising signs from improvement in the first half. Good link up play, exactly, brilliant. Here he goes. Neil's leg ahead is chicken championship at best. Again, what he meant to do, what Sumari meant to do at 3-0 down. Carlos, evening mate, evening. Hope you're doing okay. I'm dreading Arsenal at the weekend. I see why, but we've just beaten Spurs. We've just beaten Villa away. I think Old Trafford was a big freebie. I think if anyone said to us before Villa game, the next 4 games is Villa, Spurs, United, and Arsenal, I think you would have took 6 points from all 4 of them, and you've already got it. I think yesterday was an easy freebie, I guess, for us to either try and get a draw it was more than likely we were going to lose the game. Ben Morgan advised just ensures Greedy Six are given the results to keep the money rolling in. All opinions, all opinions. What else are people saying? I'm just trying to scroll through any more. Madison was awful yesterday. I could agree with you, but I will say that there was many players for the United team who were always on him 24/7. So he just couldn't move. He tried his best to get into spaces, but he just isn't. He just isn't doing. He can't do what he does best when he's getting put into pressure by 2 or 3 people. Greg, we did send you it. Jake's already told me and all the other guys that check your messages. You've been given a message to you in your private messages on Facebook, I think. Check them and you will have it. We have definitely sent you the winnings to you. Jordan, Rashford is the best striker in the world at the moment. Well, form-wise, you can't deny that. He scored 2 against us. We did well to stop him for the first 30 minutes, but the moment he put that through on that first goal, nothing else can really change. Anything else? Carmen, I hope you're doing okay. I appreciate you coming in as well. Danny Ward is bad. I think the defence really didn't help him out yesterday. He really got caught out. When the defence got caught out, there was no going back. The player, he was 1-on-1, and all he had to do was try and save it. He made a few good saves. I remember the Weghorst save. I think there was one from Sancho who was a good save as well before he scored. But again, I don't think I can blame Danny Ward much that game. Neem TV, high should have been a red card, was shocking. Again, I do agree, but we'll talk about more about that when Adam comes on from the United stand. And then Neil says, dreading the changes Rodgers will make on Saturday. I don't think he will. I think the only change I think you'll see is maybe the likes of Ricardo Pereira, and that's just my honest opinion. I think we need that sort of quality instead of Castagna. But I think the midfield will probably stay the same. I do think Tielemans should be in there over Dewsbury again, but I honestly see the opinions about him being the passion in the team, which I can't disagree either. The second half, you guys really got battered, but compete in the first half, and you are a good team and believe you will give Arsenal problems. I think we will. I think we were just unlucky in the first half against you guys. We really needed to take our chances. We really did need to take our chances yesterday, and we just didn't. I think on another day we probably would have been 1 or 2-0 up, and you can't help that. Can't blame Ward too much yesterday, but I don't have much trust in him. I don't think many people do in this fan base at the moment. But you just got to keep pushing him on, and hopefully I do think that we will bring someone in goal maybe at the end of the season. Because I don't think Ward is good enough, but I think at the moment he is our only choice. Ian, the Super Fox does say we are getting 16 points to reach the 40-point safety mark. Oh, where are we getting 16 points? I've looked at the fixtures today, and there's a lot of games we can I won't say easily win, but they're winnable games. To be honest, we've got rid of a lot of the clumps of massive, like, harder games. Like, this is the last after Arsenal. We've got a few slow and easier games that we can try and get points from. Other than, like, even Chelsea at home, I think it's still possible to win that because they're not playing great at the moment. You just need to stay solid and get them on the counter. I think we can still do it. And like Jordan says, come on, keep the faith and pray for a win. You don't need to pray. We just need to play well. I think if we play like we did against Spurs, I think we've got every chance of beating Arsenal at home. And Scott, what happened to that momentum we had in the first half? We came out of flat. That was the problem. We went in feeling like we deserved to be on top, but we were losing the game because of one out of the blue counter attack from Rashford, who scored and killed us. And from there, we came out second half, and United just wanted to beat us at every single ball. And in the first half, that's what we wanted to do to them. So it was a game of 2 halves. That is exactly how I've called it in the description today. It was a game of 2 halves. We dominated the first half, but didn't get anything out of it because we were losing 1-0. Second half, we just got destroyed. And that is compliments to Ten Hag because he knows what he needs to do. And exactly what Andy Meadow says, went into the second gear. Going into a few other points then before we do get I can't remember, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I've got his name. Adam, sorry. Yep, Adam. Before we do get Adam on, we will get a few more points across. So before the game, when we saw the lineup, we obviously saw the same team. It was an unchanged side. I was happy to see that there was a lot stronger bench. Other people would say not, but we had a lot more players back fit into the bench team. And really, at the end of the day, we couldn't really use the bench to um, our full control because we were already down and out before we could bring them on. Scott Simpson said, "Would you buy a keeper or a striker?" I'm not dodging on Nacho, but he's not a line striker. His first touch is great. After that, he loses it more than not. I would I'd say both. I think we do need both. I think Dak is starting to lose trust in me. I think he does need to start scoring, or he will get taken out of the team. I think that's in the case of the matter. He needs to start scoring, or that's why Nacho's been put in because he's the only one seeming to do anything at the moment. And keeper, I would change the keeper, but I just don't see Rodgers changing it. Really, even going into next season. And the same as Neil says, we need both. I think both is necessary. Lone striker, yeah. But yeah, obviously before the match, we did see the same team unchanged, and I do think we'll go into. I honestly do think we'll have an unchanged side going into the Arsenal game on Saturday with a few changes, in my opinion. But obviously, I won't mind if we kept the same team. And like you say, our chances really was the issue. We weren't winning at the first half. But Adam is here. We'll get him in now if he is ready, and we'll get him. Hello, how are you?
How you doing, buddy? You okay, mate?
Um, no, but we'll talk about more
Yeah,
from yesterday's match. So firstly, we'll talk about before the match. What was your kind of takes going into this game? Were you nervous? Were you confident because it's at home, or what is your take on the game before we even kicked off?
a bit of both from what you said there, mate. It was a case of where our home form is ridiculously good at the moment, so I was confident with that. But obviously, we're used to the midweek football, game after game after game. I mean, that was game 38 for us this
Yeah.
season. So I think fatigue, tiredness, changing of the squad, obviously. The cohesion sort of disappears when you're changing the squad a lot. Yeah, you've got to freshen things up, but obviously the quality then drops off automatically. Lindelof coming in, Novaran, obviously, and the team that we played in Barcelona played so well. I think we made
Mhm.
5 changes from that, and you're just thinking like it's going to be one of them games. You go in there, you get a 1-0, when you get out and you move on. It was just one of them. I didn't expect us to take control like we did in the second half. I expected
Yep.
to see what Leicester brought early doors. I thought you'd carry a threat, 8 goals in your last 2 games. Obviously, I thought you would come and attack us. It's like Brendan Rodgers has just accepted that the best form of defence is attack with Leicester.
Mhm.
His suicidal high line that he played was his undoing, though, in the end. And with Rashford in the form he is, I don't know how we thought he was going to get away with that all game. And that was your undoing, because as soon as we went 1-0 up, the game just completely changed.
Yeah, obviously before you came in, we were talking about the situation and how we lost the game because obviously, I think even in your head at half time, you thinking how were you not losing the game? I guess obviously Rashford's brilliant run obviously created you to get the one nil up, but from the chances we created in the first half, were you were you surprised you weren't losing at all or?
I expected the game to go like it did in the first 20 minutes all the way through.
Mhm.
I thought it'd be a ding dong. It could have gone 2 ways for me. I thought it was going to be a tight affair, but the way Leicester started, I thought Leicester have come to play straight out the box. And then I was thinking goal bonanza. I thought they're going to keep
Yeah.
attacking. We're going to catch you on the break, and I think whoever scores the first goal wins the game. Basically, that's how it was. I mean, we went 2-0 down at home to Leeds. I think
Mhm.
2-0 down to Leicester would have been a different ball game. I think that was a general consensus from all United fans. Wouldn't have been like to have been chasing Leicester's quality 2-0 down compared to what Leeds' was. Obviously, you guys are on a different level to Leeds in terms of players in that front line. I would say your midfield forward is very, very dangerous, carries a threat in every position. But you give us a chance, you don't take your chances, you're going to end up losing. It's as simple as that. As soon as Ten Hag got in at half time, he tweaked it. He brought Rashford to the left, nullified Tete, completely bringing Garnacho off. He was your threat in the first half. You give Ten Hag a chance. He's starting to prove game after game now that you have to take your chances and get in front against United. Otherwise, he will figure it out. He will find a way. And ultimately, that is what we are doing at the moment. We are on a ridiculously good run of form and the confidence is high. So when that goal went in, I called game over. That's how confident we was, because Leicester just weren't finishing the dinner. And that's the Premier League. You know it all too well, mate.
Yeah, I'll say I was there, and it was tough to take that 1-0 loss in the first half, because obviously I thought we played really well. But going into a few of the talking points, obviously I've got some of our fans' kind of opinions on it, which is more probably biased to us. But getting your opinion on probably the first talking point is the red card. Is it a red card or not for you on Sabitzer? What's your kind of say on it?
The beauty of the ultimate freeze frame and slow motion capture, that's what I call it, because Sabitzer was high, but he did half pull out of the challenge halfway through it. You could see he pulled his leg back. I mean, to be honest, I've seen Saliba strangling someone at weekend and not get a red card like Casemiro did. Yeah. So to be honest, God knows what's going on with officials and red cards right now. It could have been a red card easily. He didn't even get booking, I don't think.
No, he didn't. No, not one player for you got booked yesterday.
So they probably looked at it and thought that wasn't a red card. They must have looked at it. I would have thought they would have, because someone's freeze framed that picture, and quite clearly, with all the mistakes last week in VAR, I thought someone would have been looking at it a bit more in depth. I didn't see it obviously till later on when I got home, but yeah, either way, I wouldn't have been surprised if he got a red. I'm not surprised that he didn't. It's just we've been on the end of some bad ones and got away with some this season, like a lot of teams, I think. And yeah, the inconsistency of it just confuses everything. And obviously, I think he's spoiling the game. It really is. He's taking everything away. I mean, Arsenal will say they were unlucky against Brentford, but then Saliba should have got sent off the week after. We could have said Casemiro shouldn't have been sent off. He did. We lost him for 3 games, which sort of cost us a little bit. But then we got away with one yesterday. Oh, mate, I've given up with officials this season totally. It's just a joke.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like I say, a lot of our fans were saying that was a red, but obviously just because it's on our side of the story. But like you even said, I think it could easily have been a red from your point of view as well. But I did say I don't think that red card, even if it was a red card, I don't think it would have changed the end result, because I think you were like 1 or 2-0 up anyway. So I don't think it would have mattered too much. But going into the next talking point was the onside situation for Rashford for his second goal. As you can see, the officials did say it was onside. I couldn't tell you if it was or not. It is a very close decision. Have you had any look back at it and thought it was a slight, maybe a bit offside, or were you saying it's completely fair to say it was onside?
I mean, if you compare that to the goal we scored against Manchester City, mate, that's a mile onside right now. I'm telling you. I don't know who's laughing and joking. You guys don't want to hear it, but I mean, the lines, how they draw them out right now, I think everyone should just mow the lawns. Mow the lawns, God. Everyone should just cut the grass exactly the same way. So we've got lines there. So these guys in this VAR box can just actually use them as a rule. I mean, last week they forgot to draw the bleeding lines. So no, I mean, it looks tight. It looks level to me. I'm one of them. It always favours the striker. We've had loads of goals disallowed for offside this season. I mean, I think we should have had another one at Leeds last week as well. Stupid VAR rules and the way it goes, and then the delay. Do we celebrate? Do we not celebrate? He's onside in the end. It looks onside to me from what they've done and all the frames. But again, how many frames have we seen so far? There could have been another 4 that we didn't want to show up this weekend. So yeah, it is what it is, mate, isn't it? With offsides and these lines, it's another farce.
Yeah, like I say, it's all down to the officials, kind of all that kind of thing. But finally, I will ask, from your point of view, looking at the Leicester side, Do you see us staying up? Because
Yeah,
obviously you do.
100%.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't want to, didn't know if
100%.
I get a straight answer like that, but
Too much quality. I mean, I actually think the players you've brought in have actually swayed it a little bit in your favour. And Brendan Rodgers is just going to, it just looks like he's just said, look, let's just play to our advantages, which is your front line and your midfield. Your back line, I'm sorry to say, mate, it's diabolical. It really is. From what I've seen, and I just feel like he took that chance. He's accepted where your quality is, and he may have been proved totally right if you took your chances yesterday. That's the risk you're going to take. But more often than not, I think with the quality of the league, I think you'll get away with it. I think you'll move away into mid-table and creep into the top half. Personally, looking at the teams above you, there's no consistency there. I do believe that you've got that little bit extra. Nowhere near as poor as what's down there right now. I mean, Christ, tonight you look at West Ham; they've only scored 7 goals away from home all season. It's diabolical. And how Southampton beat Chelsea, I do not know, because they are shocking. But yeah, Bournemouth, Southampton, I'll say West Ham. I think you're miles better than them down there, and I can't see Leicester being dragged back into it now. I think that result against Spurs was big. I think it just showed and give you guys that little bit extra confidence that you could probably dissect anyone in this
yeah.
league on your day. You've done it to us enough times before, and you've run City close early on in the season as well. So I think you've got way too much to go down. That's not even a question for me.
Yeah. And then finally, obviously, I don't know if you know, but we are playing Arsenal on Saturday. Do you have any kind of thoughts on what you want how that to go down? Obviously, I know you're trying to go for top of the league, or maybe top 4, or whatever you're looking at. But are you going to expect us to try and win against the Arsenal on Saturday?
Is that at
It is at Leicester.
Emirates?
It's at Leicester.
Oh, it's at Leicester. You have got a chance. I mean, I look at what you guys did to Villa, and then I look what Villa did to Arsenal. And do you know what Arsenal play that open game? I do believe Arsenal's back line is gettable. I mean, it is. You've seen what Villa did. Villa should have won that game at weekends. It's coming to that stage of the season now where everyone is playing a lot of games, 2 games a week. Injuries are coming in. I think Arsenal's frailties at the back now are starting to show a little bit more. I think without the security of some key players like Partey in midfield, I think they struggle. I don't know if he's going to be back. I would love for you to do us a favour. I just feel like Arsenal got lucky at weekend, and the way the result went with City as well at Nottingham Forest, I think they're just going to be a little bit buoyed. I think they're probably going to have too much in another high-scoring game. I could see it being like a 3-1 Arsenal, 4-2, something like that. I think you will challenge them, but they are. Saka's the one. Saka's just ridiculous right now. He's absolutely frightening, and your backline I don't think has got the capabilities to handle what Arsenal are bringing. Unless you want to completely surprise me, I'd be all in, mate. If you could do that, that would be very nice. But yeah, I think they just look like they're a dangerous team, and they just look like every time they go forward, they've got another option. I remember us playing them at the Emirates. I mean, we beat them at Old Trafford, but they did take us apart in the second half, admittedly. And Saka is the one. If you can nullify him, you've got half a chance. But just looking at your back line from Sunday, I just don't know if you've got the quality to. But I mean, this season's full of surprises. I wouldn't put it past you guys getting a draw or beating Arsenal, but it's going to be a tough one. I think it'll be a ding-dong game. It'll be entertaining anyway. I know that. Especially
Yeah,
if
I hope
the
so.
high line. Oh, God.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, appreciate you, Adam, coming on for the match review show for the United game. But we'll appreciate you coming on. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.
No worries at all, mate. Cheers.
Cheers. And that is it for another match review show. Appreciate you coming on. All your comments was very helpful before Adam did come on. Tough game at Villa, Saturday at home. I'm not too sure who you're on about there. And ND message, I'm not too sure what anyone's saying here. It was 100% red. I do agree. It was a red in any game, but again, it's the officials. it's always going to be a back and front game with the bloody officials. It could be a red, could be not, could be nothing. We lost it through 12 men again. Probably agree with you there. The ref was awful. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show, which is the away fan show for Arsenal at home. Appreciate you coming on, guys. See you in a bit.